Wake that ass up.
In the morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ Envy, Jess Hilarious, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. We got a special guest in the building.
Yes, indeed.
We have Brittney Spencer. Welcome.
What up, baby?
Baltimore's own.
Yes.
What's up, y'all?
How are you, Brittney?
I am good. I'm so happy to be here. I'm a little nervous because I've just been watching y'all for years, and so, like, you know, this is fire. Thanks for having me.
That's
You
amazing.
from Baltimore. Y'all don't get nervous about nothing.
That's a lie. I get nervous. Do you get nervous? I get nervous.
Girl, I get nervous when I'm there. I get nervous when I'm here. I get nervous everywhere.
I get nervous when I breathe.
Yeah.
I am a
Jesus.
nervous wreck.
For real?
Yeah. I'm just not very reactive. You know, I just be like, you know, chilling and doing my therapy, you know.
What part of Baltimore are you from?
I've lived everywhere. Like, to give context, I went to 4 elementary schools.
Okay.
Yeah. So I've lived, gosh, my family live in, like, Randallstown and Lockern.
Gotcha. East and West. That's two different.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I went to school in Towson. I could sing, and so it let me go to like magnet schools all through middle and high school, and so I could sing opera, and so that kind of like I didn't have to go to my zone school, and so we moved around like quite a bit sometimes, and but I just didn't have to like change schools. But I've been everywhere.
What made you? How did you end up in Nashville from Baltimore? Baltimore girl, all around Baltimore to Nashville.
People always ask me that. I mean, I found out about country music because of the radio. My friend Keisha at church was like, "You need to listen to the Chicks." Back then they were Dixie Chicks.
Yeah.
They were the gateway. I feel like they always the gateway. Everybody I meet, they just the gateway. That's how me and Raina Roberts connected the first time, because we were like just loving Dixie Chicks. And, but my friends, they told me to listen to them, and I did, and I just fell in love. I feel like Baltimore is like very like it's very musical. You know, like you can go and you can sing in church, but also you can go and listen to music down at Peabody. You got a lot of art schools there. You got like Carver and Baltimore School for the Arts. But also country radio is consistently the highest ranked in Maryland. And so you got a lot of everything. And I feel like people kind of appreciate it. You know, it's a lot of different sides of Baltimore. And so that was kind of my introduction to it. And I kind of just fell in love and kept going, and finally decided years later to make the move and at least give it a try. I had no idea if this thing was actually going to work, but I was like, it's worth a try. I might as well fail at something that I actually really like, as opposed to like succeeding at doing something I don't want to do.
Were you nervous to do country? Because you said Baltimore, and Baltimore teeters on everything, right? Because you got club music in Baltimore, of course, hip hop and R&B.
You do.
You get like a touch of go-go because DC is right there, and you went country.
I did.
You totally went against everything, you know, that people were listening to. So how did that happen? What made you say, this is what I want to do as a profession, and I'm going to take the jump and go to, like she said, Nashville?
I mean, it was a lot. I felt like I really loved country music, and I've sat and like thought for a long time, like back in the day I would be like, yo, why do I love this? Like everything around me was church, was gospel, was I mean, my family upbringing, like R&B, hip hop, like that's my family. My father's a DJ, you know, and so like, and he spent hip hop and R&B all the time, and I'm like, what is this thing? And I couldn't ever point my finger on it, but I decided that it was just what it was supposed to be for me. And I don't know, I got the nerve. It was something about Taylor Swift, you know, like, I mean, y'all know, like in New York, y'all are real close to Baltimore. So like the Northeast is like, it's mad close in proximity. And she's from Pennsylvania. She didn't have a twang. Like she was really poetic. It was just something about her that just made me feel like maybe I could do this. And then Reba. I loved Reba. We all like her.
Oh, yeah, I love Reba.
Yeah.
Yes.
What did your dad say, being a DJ, especially a hip hop and R&B DJ? When you said, Dad, I want to do country, like, that ain't in my Serato.
Yeah, he was like, nah, you need to move to Atlanta. I was
Oh, okay.
I know, he was nervous. And my whole family was kind of nervous, actually. But he got it, you know, and especially like now, like my family, like honestly, sometimes they be just as shocked as I am. Like, oh my God, this is actually like happening and working. I'm like, I never knew if it would actually really work. I just kind of decided I wanted to try and just give it a real shot. Like I was prepared for it to not work, I guess, in a sense. But also, I mean, preparing for it to work is a whole other conversation. But, you know, they're on board. They love it. They love what I'm doing. And I mean, I think what I do is kind of much bigger than myself, you know? And I kind of take that responsibility seriously. But like, it's been very real for me for a long time. Like, you just didn't know.
Why everybody from Baltimore daddy a DJ?
First of all,
Yo, your daddy a DJ.
yes, he
I'm
is.
sure Kevin Lyles
Your
is
father's DJ too.
Yeah, yo, that's why I'm so musically. I love music, but I don't. But like you know, I don't only listen to hip hop, rap, and you know R&B. I delve in rock, heavy metal, everything like country, pop, everything. It's every genre of music I do.
That
like,
makes sense.
except opera. I ain't gonna hold you. I will be asleep if I had to do that.
You don't want no high C's in the morning? You don't want to hear that?
No, I mean, of course, if you make it interesting, because girl, I just be on her. That's it with the opera, but that's it. But yeah, my dad is a DJ. Yeah, so
Yeah.
Was it tough being accepted in the country community as a black female country artist?
I think, for a lot of us, I think it's challenging, like trying to get people to understand sometimes what we're doing. But I feel like there are a lot of creatives that are really open to kind of this reformation happening in Nashville. In addition to like just what we look like, we're bringing our culture too. Like just like how you said you listen to everything, like I do too, and that you can hear that in my music.
Heard that.
I definitely hear that.
I heard that dude too.
That's my sis.
It come out, especially when I get closer to home. It's just like it's like pulled out of me because I've been in Nashville for 11 years, so like sometimes it's a little twangy, like just because I've been there for so long. But yeah, I feel like we're bringing a lot of the styles and influences that we've kind of like had around us. You know, our family at a cookhouse, we listen to music where we see ourselves, where we see ourselves reflected, and so we're coming into country, but we're bringing R&B and we're bringing rock and we're bringing opera.
Okay, bring it.
There is actually a country record that starts off with opera. Like people are just,
and it's probably lit. That's why I said
it is.
I'm just
it's cute.
When I think of opera, I just think of sitting in the symphony and they just down there, doing a. It's different. I'm pretty sure it's different types of opera, but that's the only thing my mind goes to is the regular symphony.
I get
one
it.
when you sitting in the big symphony hall and they just screaming from wall to wall.
And a lot of it be in like other languages, so you don't always know what's going on. You got to kind of read and stuff. I get it. I get it.
Why do people have to go to Nashville? Because it reminds me of when hip hop was big in New York and everybody they felt like they had to move to New York to get that sound. Like why do you have to go to Nashville, or why artists have to go to Nashville to kind of get it started in country?
Yeah, I don't know, probably because of the resources. That's where the industry is. Like Nashville is built like with an infrastructure. That's where the labels are. That's where the PROs are. A lot of the publishing companies are there. A lot of the producers are there. There are plenty of places like in Texas. Like there are plenty of Texas artists that are like they're not moving to Nashville, or they'll come to Nashville and record, but they'll stay in Texas. So there are some places. It's just I don't know. Nashville's just kind of built.
Like the hub for country.
Yeah, like it's just kind of built for that. And the radios are there. It's just, I don't know. I feel like it's just, if you want to do it outside of Nashville, I feel like you can, especially now, with like the internet. But ultimately, I feel like a lot of people end up feeling like they got to move to Nashville. I felt like I had to move to Nashville. I remember watching like documentaries with like Reba and Taylor back when I was a kid and just being like, oh, they both said they had to get to Nashville. And I'm like, well, then my ass need to get to Nashville. And so like, it took me a few years to kind of get the nerve to do it, but I don't know. I feel like I meet more and more artists that are not in Nashville, but they always end up having to come back to Nashville a lot. Like you have to kind of just get there. Everybody is kind of there.
Is country music more racist or sexist?
Gosh, I think radio right now, like 10% of their airplay is women, right now. But I don't think they're playing black women right now much. So I don't know. Both of them is just a struggle, I guess. I don't know. And I feel like the industry is kind of pushing for change in that department. But yeah, I don't know. It's kind of in need of a little overhaul in a lot of departments. And I'm in the middle of that. Like I don't know. I feel like even as I make music, like that sits on my brain sometimes, but I try to, I don't know, like you can't really get away from it. It comes out even in the creative process. Like this. I would say I feel like people speak probably more about race right now, or people who are experiencing it, like people who are black, are talking about it more than probably women are sometimes. Yeah. And so I don't know. I have a lot of questions. I don't have a lot of answers though. I be trying, but I don't know. I'm just hoping to see that something changes, but. Yeah. In the meantime, my black woman ass is right here.
That's right.
I got a little album and whatever.
Yeah. Speaking of your album, how heavily do you go into it in your album? The speaking about race, which you was talking about, like, do you speak about it heavily in your album?
Not so much. I feel like It's not that I don't want to, because I feel like I talk about this stuff all the time. Like, I don't shy away from the conversation at all. I feel like I just try to put my lived experience, my life experience in the song, and hopefully that attracts, people who kind of have that experience as well. I really do I just show up as myself and try to show up as Black and as authentic and as woman and as Baltimore as I am,
Right.
and as country as I am. And so I kind of leave that sometimes for the conversation, because I feel like, I don't know, if I write a song about it, like, I don't know. I don't.
Oversaturation is like, this is about my story.
Yeah.
Which country it really plays off is about the experience in your stories. So why is it called My Stupid Life? I want to know. And is it stupid life or is it, or why you call it that?
It's called My Stupid Life, probably in part because I'm from Baltimore. Like, we greet each other like, "What's up, dummy?"
Yeah.
Probably like that.
So
We say
disrespectful to each other.
That's crazy.
It's a term
love.
of endearment and it's love.
Thank
Okay,
you.
dummy.
And if you from somewhere else, you can't say it. I tell them that every day. Girl, so your stupid life.
It's because I feel like life is, it's wonderful. It's highs, it's lows, it's up and downs. It's like, it's a lot of things. And ultimately, when I'm thinking about just the things that make me feel most present, I don't know, like the best and worst things happen at the same time sometimes. And for me, that's kind of how I think about My Stupid Life. And with the album, it's just no one song sounds like the other. And
I love that.
was on purpose. Like, and so I don't know, it just felt like a conglomerate. But also, really, I wasn't trying to name the album that. I was really just kind of figuring out like which song title off of the album was the most appealing to me.
Gotcha.
And when I was writing the song My Stupid Life, I was like, oh, this is actually kind of cool. I would listen to an album called My Stupid Life.
Right.
But also, I come from that era of like My So-Called Life and like stuff like that. And so it was, I don't know, it just felt like nostalgic to me in a way.
I saw you say that the album cracked you wide open and it allowed you to open up emotionally in a way that you really hadn't before. And you said, I really don't like feelings.
Yeah.
All that much.
I don't. Therapy has helped me a whole lot with that. And I have a
love
lot
therapy.
of feelings. I love therapy too. And I love what you be saying about therapy. I love that, like, I feel like you've been like at the helm of making it almost normalized a lot more. Thank you for that. I feel like, I don't know, when you have feelings, knowing what to do with them is just hard. And it takes a certain level of emotional intelligence and also just guidance and knowing how to navigate what you're thinking, what you're feeling, and what to do with it, Like, I'm not a very reactive person. I'm very sensitive and I feel a lot of things. And I've learned that if you don't let yourself feel what you're feeling and go through the process, it just comes out in other ways. You wake up one day, you realize you're detached from everything. You feel numb. You feel like why do I feel so distant from people? Why don't I know this about myself? Like, there were moments where I was just like, just almost oblivious to parts of myself. And I think that played a part in why, when I started having momentum in my career and I started touring a lot, I started having like panic attacks and anxiety attacks. And I'm like on the road and I'm like, what is going on? Like, your body remembers, and your mind remembers even the stuff that you thought you forgot. And so it's, I don't know, I just think it's important to at least start the journey of, understanding your feelings, and figuring out the origin of it, figuring out why you do something, figuring out why does this thing trigger you. It's a much deeper thing. You thought you forgot about it because you were 8 years old, but your body remembers, and it developed a habit, a coping mechanism. And the thing that I've learned from me in my career is that it really does not do well if you are just living in survival mode. Like, my survival tactics like crumbled.
Oof.
They crumbled like when I started touring, and just slowly. And it's like just the faintest thing like can kind of like set you off a little bit, and you don't know what's going on internally. You don't realize you're still dealing with stuff from childhood. You're still dealing with all kinds of stuff. Like, you're still dealing with rejection issues that really, you get rejected a lot in this industry, but my rejection issues didn't start with this industry. It just exacerbates everything. And it's a lot of highs and a lot of lows. Y'all know this in your career. Like, you can be on the mountaintop in your mind or in your career and your psyche one day and be in the valley the next. And like, I just feel like a lot of real life doesn't really prepare you for that. And if you already got stuff, you know, with you, it just brings it all to the forefront. And that's what happened to me.
And it's not good for you in that point because then it creates imposter syndrome.
Oh, gosh.
And when you get the imposter syndrome, you start feeling like you shouldn't even be here. And that affects everything, especially for you because you're a performer.
Oh, gosh. It was so bad. I remember one time I was just having this anxiety attack. I didn't even know it was an anxiety attack during the show. All I knew is that I was so excited to open up for Shania Twain. But I, like, ran off stage. I ran off stage before I could even bow out because I literally just started, this is going to be so gross, but I just started literally having anxiety vomit. Like, in front of dozens of people backstage I don't know, I'm running off stage. My band is still playing. Thankfully, I made it to the last song. But I'm just like, what is going on? And I'm like, I'm having a whole anxiety attack right now. And I started noticing when I got off stage, I did the thing. My body was doing the thing when I'm having a panic or really bad anxiety attack. And I'm just like, this is crazy. And it wasn't the first time it happened. I was just like, this is insane. And so, and I was in therapy at that point. And so I went back to therapy and we talked about it more. And I'm like, holy crap, I still have some more stuff to work out. And it's true. Like, you have to. I feel like this life is very fast paced. Things change at the drop of a dime. Yeah. And that's what I try to put in my songs. That's what I try to put in my talking and my speech and the way that I articulate what I'm feeling. Like, that's my lived experience. I try to put that out there. Like I'm saying, like, I hate feelings is like, you know, that sounds like the oddest thing I think for an artist to say. We live in our feelings. And I do feel them, and I'm learning how to navigate them better. But feelings are, gosh, man, they are, sometimes I feel like a rock in a hard place.
Absolutely.
But if you can learn how to navigate it, it's freedom.
Now, you spoke about, you know, the industry. He asked you if it was more racist or sexist. How do you deal with performing for people that's not necessarily majority looking like you, right? Like, I look at it like if I have
all the white people in Nashville.
Yeah, but because I mean, most of the people that she's performing, Shania Twain, I'm sure, is when you look in that crowd, you don't see too many people that look like you.
Yeah.
You know, when Jess does a show, she sees more people that look like it. Makes you feel comfortable, makes you feel warm. You're gonna see aunties, you're gonna see grandmas, you're gonna see cousins.
Yeah.
So how is it dealing with you not seeing an auntie or a cousin or people that look like you? You're not necessarily getting that warm feeling at first.
That's why she
How
threw
was
up.
that?
White people.
The worst. And envy, white people be coming to my shows.
I didn't say they don't be coming to your shows. I didn't say they coming to your shows. I didn't say that to you. I just said the majority.
Go ahead, Brittney, because these people think they know me so much.
They can't discredit your fans. They can't. They
I know,
discount
right?
Like that, you
I
know
got
what
some
I'm
whites
saying?
in there.
They can't.
Yeah.
You sound just like my sister. This is so wild. Shout out, Bria.
Shout out, Bria.
I feel like, I don't know. I feel like, gosh, what's the best way to describe it? Like I don't feel a way about it. I just feel like, it pushes me to show up as myself even more. Like, I really just don't be hiding nothing. Like, I remember, like, there was a very distinct moment where I remember being on stage and being like, I'm gonna start running as much as I want to, because that's what I like to do. I don't know if I can cuss on this radio.
Yeah, you can cuss.
I can do the thing. Okay,
Yeah,
that's what the fuck I want to do. So I just remember, like, I don't know. I'm just more myself, and I feel like in my head, I am building something. You know, in this moment with particularly with Black country music, I feel like the people that are for us are finding us. You know, our people, our crowd, they're finding us. And the people who want to celebrate all of who we are, they're finding us. And so when I'm singing to crowds that, in a majority of them don't look like me, to me in my head, I'm like, it's okay, because I'm open to act right now. You know, like, I'm excited. I love opening up for the people that I'm opening up for. That's the part of my career where I'm at right now. And in my head, I'm just like, you're going to be a part of this thing when I'm headlining the show. You know, you're going to be part of the demographic, because I really want to make music for everybody. Like, I really want to make universal country music. Like, I want something for everybody, and everything ain't gonna be for everybody. Right. But like, maybe there's a song or two that's down your row, you know? And I feel like more, I mean, I can't say more than ever. I hate people say that. Like, we weren't here, you know, before our time. But it feels like right now more than ever, people enjoy authenticity. Like, whoever you are is enough. Like, whatever your story is, it doesn't need to be mine. It just needs to be real. And that's what drew me to country music. I love that people put themselves in their songs, and I love that people tell the truth, or at least try to. And if you can't tell the truth because it ain't yours, you at least have a high level of empathy to be able to put yourself in somebody else's shoes well enough to articulate that story. And for me, that's what draws me even to performing. And so I kind of keep that at the forefront of my brain. And it comes with challenges, of course. It definitely comes with challenges. Like, I mean, even in the creating process, like having people that understand a Black girl from Baltimore City who want to do country music.
Yeah.
You know, that's interesting. You know, what does a write like that look like? You know, what does a session like that look like? And it's a lot of exploring, and it's a lot of open-mindedness. And like I said, I feel like in addition to bringing my complexion, I'm bringing my culture, you know, and I feel like right now in country music, it's a great time to be able to explore what that sounds like, not just what it looks like, and that's important too, but also what does it sound like, you know? Like, I'm not coming and assimilating. I'm bringing, you know, my 8 years of singing opera.
Yeah.
I'm coming and I'm bringing, like, just listening to the Chicks as a kid, and listening to Nina Simone, and listening to Beyonce, and listening to Sade, and listening to the Clark sisters. Like, I'm bringing all of that. Like, what does that sound like? Because I come from a place where we listen to everything, and it's so nice to be able to talk to a Baltimore person who's just like that too, because that's not a me thing. And I be trying to explain that to people in Nashville, like, yo, that is not a me thing. I come from a very musically eclectic place where there isn't one genre associated with us. We got Hairspray the musical, Billie Holiday, and Toni Braxton. Like, that's very those are very different things. And Tupac lived there for like a little while.
Who you had us listening to yesterday?
Oh my God, girl, Tim Trees, girl. You remember Bank Rolls? You think you getting half of my dough? You ain't though. Please tell me you don't.
I don't, but I wish I did.
She gonna send it to you now.
I'm gonna send it to you, girl.
You got to.
Crazy.
I wish I knew. I'm sorry. I wish I did.
No, don't wish. Because
This was older,
I'm
though.
gonna
This
let
was-
you know right after this.
This was older though, right?
This was
was an
old.
older
This
song,
was
yeah.
old, yeah.
Okay.
But honestly, Britt, that's what drew me to you. I have a best friend who likes country music as well, but I delve in country music, but it's not like something that I'll play every day. But her telling like, yo, it's this girl from Baltimore who do country, and she sent me your stuff, you and Raina, because she's into that. She's into country more than I am, and so she sent me Raina, she sent me you, she sent me a couple other girls, and I was like, dang, like, shorty, you can really sing, you know, and your voice is very soothing as well. And then you mentioned Beyonce, like something like that is just interesting coming from where I'm from, because you don't see country singers coming out of our city, you know what I mean, every day. No. Or even every year. This is something that you see every once in a blue. Honestly, I think you're probably the only one. So like, you know, that I know, to be honest. And so I know even a Beyonce would take a liking to that. Like, hold up, like, you know, so how did that even happen? Like, how did that link up happen? Because you on Blackbird on the Cowboy Carter album.
Yeah.
How did that happen?
I don't actually know. Like, all I know is that I'm there, and it's wild and it's insane. Like, being on that record, I feel like, one, is just breaking a lot of musical boundaries. Like, for what kind of music people can make. It's kind of disrupting, I think, a lot of the industry, and also disrupting, like, just even the creative process. I think, like, I feel like creatives might take the boxes off a little bit, you know, and not, you know, be as, you know, not, I don't think we've been rigid, but like, we'll be even more explorative, and also not feel like in order to be marketable, you have to be this one thing.
Yeah.
You know, that's always a huge thing. Like, I mean, like, am I marketable? Am I commercial? Will people like this? You know, especially if you want to be a commercial artist. And it's, I don't know, I feel like it's taking the limits off of that. And being a part of that record, like, I was just telling Kevin the other day.
Kevin Lyles
over here. I was just telling him, I was like, yo, I just realized my album, I put my album out in January, and it opens up with birds chirping. And it opens up with this, I know, right?
Wow.
And it opens up with this song called New to This Town, and it's in the same key as Blackbird, almost the same tempo. And like, I'm just like, this is wow, this is beautiful. Yeah. It's like, you can't orchestrate stuff like that. I mean, I talk about Beyonce on my album, like,
Anna Raven is a Blackbird, Baltimore Ravens. I don't know. I just made that up. I don't.
No, it is.
Just made it.
It is.
Well, how did it happen? Did she call you? Did somebody call you? Was the record, like, how did the record come together?
I ain't ready to talk about that yet. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like as an artist, like, I want to respect, like, her creative process, and I feel like whenever she's ready to talk about this, she will, and I want to leave that for her. I love her, I admire her, and also she's Beyonce, and like, you know, she'll tell a story.
You won't fuck it up either, though.
Yeah, I mean that, and all. I mean, but also like for real, like on a very heart level, like I mean, I don't know. People have plans for how they want to like reveal stuff. And,
That's true.
Yeah.
And I just want to wait. Like I just
Makes sense.
Yeah, like I want to, and plus I want to cherish this. Like I'm also the same person who like will hold on to something for a long time, and like not share it with nobody. And like I don't know, like, even with my album, I had like a little leather keychain. I had the title of it on there. I had it around. People have my keys. I lose my keys. All kinds of stuff. I have to go back to the store to get it. I've had my stupid life written on all kinds of things for a year. I had it on like engraved on one of my shirts. Like nobody saw it, nobody knew, but like it was just like my little thing. Gotcha. And so I respect the creative process. And so whenever
even
she
just
ready,
for you, because you're young, you know what I'm saying? Even just for you, like later on, maybe you'll write a book, or maybe you'll do like, you know, like a memoir or like a documentary where that will be something for later. You get what I'm saying? Like for you to do. Yeah.
And I feel like everything is so instant right now with like social media. And I'm like, yo, having a thought out plan, and I get it. I understand urgency. I understand like, or at least I'm starting to understand just immediacy. I struggle with social media. That is not my forte. Like I be online.
It's not good for my mental health.
I be online talking to people about how I don't want to be online. I'm like, this is like, what am I doing? Like I made a whole song the other day and was like, I TikToked. Someone please tell my team, my label, I TikToked. I did the thing. Like please. Like, just know that I'm trying today. Like, I can't account for tomorrow. But this week I'm bored, so I'm actually doing an experiment where I'm posting like 2 or 3 TikToks a day because I'm kind of just bored. I just want to try something out. I don't know what I'm looking for, but I'm just having fun talking to people. But I forgot what I was talking about just now. That's how this works in my brain.
Well, basically, he was asking you, like, trying to get in your business about how to be obviously linked up, and you say you're going to talk about it later.
Maybe later,
It's not for the urgency. It's not for all of that. Like, I got a story about how, you know, when me and Michael Jackson was cool, I'm going to tell that later. You know what I mean? Because that's a story for later.
I went to the same doctor.
Right, you know that, right?
You know, I was just going with it.
Yeah,
I'm here for it.
Best thing to do when you're talking to somebody from Baltimore, just go with whatever they're saying. Get out safe. I'm just playing. Listen, the other black female country artists, you mentioned Raina, but then there's Tana Adele, Tiara Kennedy. Were y'all all familiar with each other and cool with each other before y'all did this? Okay.
So in a sense, me and Raina have been really good friends for a few years. Me and Raina, we met back in 2021. And Tanner, we met, I want to say we met like last year for the first time. I've literally only been around her a handful of times, but we've like been just really friendly. We have like a common interest in edible glitter.
Edible glitter?
Yeah. Yeah, put it in your drinks. You don't put, you don't do that?
THC in it?
It's like, I'm like,
mine does, but
oh yeah,
but that's no, it don't have THC in it. It just I put the thing, you know, I do the thing. I got you.
But
no, it's just regular, just Amazon. Edible glitter, and so that was something that we just kind of talked about.
Glitter in your drink?
Yeah, you never
because
heard
it makes
that?
the drink really pretty, but it's still edible. So
exactly.
You can. I got you.
Like put a little gold dust on your like rosé or something. I mean, anyway, but then we connected with that online. And and so like it's just been, I don't know, just been mutual respect and just like little things like that. I've known Tiara for a few years. We worked together back in 2021, and so I mean I feel like we all kind of like started meeting each other when life got busy, like around 2020 when the conversation around Black country really kind of started ramping up. And so I don't know, I feel like artists are just kind of like passing ships through the night, and so it's really cool to be able to kind of like have a moment with an artist, because I mean the beautiful and also sad part is that like you really gotta live in that moment when you're with somebody that is in the same field as you, because once this moment is over, like you might not see each other for a really long time. Like I have friends that I've connected with so deeply, like over tour or something, and it was 2 months and I haven't seen him in 2 years now. And so I know I'll be going through withdrawals. I'm like, oh my God, my friend, we shared such a beautiful moment, and also now we only see each other anymore right now just because life is just hectic. It's kind of hard. Yeah,
life is life.
I know y'all know about that more than me.
Was there a country music before Beyonce and after Beyonce?
Yeah.
Okay. Like how have things changed?
Yeah. Oh, in that sense.
Like how have you benefited from her being in the country music space now?
Oh gosh, I mean, even just some of the stuff that I was saying, like with kind of breaking those musical barriers and kind of like who gets to represent the South, or like. Or just the stories that get to be told, or the way that is told. Like even just sonically, I feel like people might even be a little more explorative on their albums. Like my personal favorite album is Lemonade, like of all time.
Yes,
That's my album. When I heard that album, it like no one song sounded like another, and it was really like it shook up my head a lot. And I feel like if people listen to my album, My Stupid Life, like you can hear that. Yeah. You can hear where I just wanted to have storytelling and country music at its core just be the thread through each song, but sonically it's going to be a little rock and country, it's going to be a little R&B in country, it's going to be a little pop in country. Like it's like I feel like I have that thread, and I feel like I feel like we're going to hear more albums like that, you know. But a lot of that is inspired by an album that she made, you know, years ago. And so I feel like right now people are just going to be more explorative, like creatively, but also I feel like she's also bringing a really interesting fan base to country music. Definitely. And the talent is there, and it's our job to keep them here, you know. I have no idea what her next record is going to be, but hopefully, you know, the people that are here and interested in what this whole moment is because of Beyonce, hopefully they, you know, want to stick around, because there's some incredible talent here, and I think she's done an incredible and generous thing in spotlighting a lot of it on Cowboy Carter.
I was going to ask you, you know, a lot of artists are doing country now, right? We heard, I think Keisha Cole says she's doing a country album. Beyonce's doing a country album.
Okay, Michelle been doing it,
yeah. So do you think it might take away from, like, it might be, some of these artists might be doing it as a quote-unquote fatty type of thing, and can it hurt or help country music? Because people are not, you know, a lot of people will go because they feel like it's a check, right? And not do it because they feel it in their soul.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I don't think I care. Like, and I know that people that care, I don't think I do, because I feel like people just do that across genres all the time. Like, they just do it. People go and they make a pop record, or they make a rock album, or they make, you know, they make a gospel record. Wow. Like, people do that all the time. I mean, even country artists, they make gospel records or a Christian record or something. Like,
Taylor Swift about to do a rap album.
He is such
the Tortured Poets Department.
Shut up.
He is lying.
The Tortured Poets.
He's not doing no rap album.
Brittney, he is lying through his teeth.
All right.
He's lying.
All right. Everybody wait. About to see.
But I like your perspective on, I've never heard nobody say that.
My eyes was just believing it. I was like, oh, really?
Because when you come up here, you have to realize what you're walking into.
That's right.
Girl, no.
He'll be serious, face serious, but he be lying.
But lying about
I'm here for
everything,
it, though.
you know? That's why I'm like, I'm so glad that he advocates for therapy, because he does need it. You know,
that's true.
Yeah, absolutely. But I love your take on how you broke down why you like Lemonade. A lot of people, they like it for the surface reason. Oh, that's when she was venting about being cheated on and all that. I like it because the same reason, is so many different genres of music. Yeah. And like she did rock, you know, then she had her ballad, then the country, she had her country song on there. She was talking about her dad, right? Daddy Lessons. That was on Lemonade. Like that, I never heard nobody say that, but that's why I like, that's why Lemonade is my favorite album of hers, because it's a no skip, because it sounds like so many different genres.
That's real.
I just wanted to say that, because I be in my little music bag a little bit.
You do?
And yeah, just a little bit.
You do.
And I'm like, okay, B, she won me over with that.
I mean, I feel like the average listener listens to a little bit of everything. You know, I feel like country is, first of all, it's a way of life. You know, it's a lifestyle. It's kind of how in this case, I'm a transplant. Like, I'm from Baltimore. Like, I'm from Randallstown. Like, I'm from over by Morgan State. Like, that's where I grew up. That's where I lived. And so I feel like I just fell in love with it. My family, we went down south every summer to Symantha, South Carolina.
Hey.
Oh, you are from South Carolina.
Absolutely.
My mother's husband is from there, and every year somebody die. Every summer we went down to Symantha, South Carolina.
Jesus. Like,
Jesus.
It was almost like clockwork. Like, I just knew. Yeah. I mean, God rest all of their souls. And also, it was a nice time driving in South Carolina. That was my introduction to the South. It wasn't the music at all. Like, it wasn't country music. It was going down south and just getting acclimated to everything down there, and watching people fight over whether to put cheese or salt and pepper in your grits. Like, that was that was my introduction. And so I feel like it is a way of life, and it's not just sonically like what you hear. It's not just instrumentation. It's the way you tell a story, and it's the stories that you tell, and it's your ability to be honest about it. You know, it's the ability to connect with people through the lyrics. Nashville is a song town, and I think it was Hank Williams that said something, I'm going to paraphrase. He said something like, You ain't got to be from the South to do country. You just got to be real. And that's true. Like, you just got to be real with your shit. You have to be honest, and that's what I try to do, you know? And I feel like when I listen to a lot of these albums, like a lot of these pop stars that are doing country albums, I'm like, go for it. Tell your truth. Speak your shit. You know, talk. Do your thing. Also disrupt the industry, because all of it needs an overhaul anyway. So I'm interested. Whenever legal execs are like, no, I'm like, yep, that's the one. That's what we need. That thing right there.
I think that's
go for it.
I think that's what's making people gravitate towards country, because like you said, country music is all about the storytelling. Like, it's the great stories.
Yeah.
I don't know if they feel like they can necessarily tell those stories in whatever they're doing.
Because it's a lot of glitz and glam and a lot of polish.
Especially in pop.
But the thing that's like connecting with people, like, is people just being honest about how they feel and the stuff that they've been through. Like, I was reading something a few weeks ago that was talking about how we've been in a loneliness epidemic for like a few years now, especially since like the pandemic. I'm like, that's why people love introspective music right now, where people are just like, just spilling their guts and just telling the truth about how they feel, the dark, the ugly. They're not trying to be perfect. They're not just trying to give you like a cliche love song. They're trying to like they're trying to be honest, and I feel like that's happening a lot across a lot of genres. But it's beautiful when I hear it in country music, especially paired with like the instrumentation that I love. Give me like some heartbreaking lyric with like a steel, man. And growing up in church, I didn't have like, we didn't hear steel guitar. I equated to like an organ. There was a friend of mine who like told me, he was like, the steel guitar to country music is the organ to gospel. And I was like, oh man, that's so true. It's a long, sad, extended note. You just hold it down and you just, I don't know, it's a little shaky, you know, and it's, I feel it. I feel that. I feel that lyric. And when you pair it with the right instrument and the right production, I mean, I just feel like that can unlock a soul.
I love what you said about the loneliness. And it's like my last question, but because it made me think of this quote I saw you say, where you said, if I could go back, when you first moved to Nashville, if I could go back, I would tell myself to use that time to find more of myself. If you're not finding your people, at least find yourself. Expound on that a little bit.
Yeah. Finding yourself is hard. Like, knowing who you are is hard. And I think half of the battle is figuring out what you're not, you know, and that's a little easier. At least that came a little easier for me. But just figuring out who you are, it'll help attract the right people. You know, like, I feel like sometimes I've spent so much time in life, like, not knowing who I am or what I want to do or knowing my worth. And I attracted people who weren't interested in finding that out either. And that's, I feel like, how I got a lot of my heart broken sometimes. I feel like that's where I got like let down, and just opening up to people who can only meet you as far as they've met themselves too. You just have two broken people just trying to figure out why you keep crashing. And I feel like, know who you are. It'll save you and a lot of people a whole lot of time. Like, it's okay. Everybody ain't for everybody. And you don't need to do everything, you know? Like, people pleasing and just all that stuff. It's just, a lot of that is just not knowing who you are. And I don't know. I wish I could go back in time. I mean, I won't say I have regrets. I don't really have regrets. I just have, like, if I could have a little do-over, you know, I do that. But like, I don't know. I would go back and just try to figure out who I am a lot sooner. Yeah. Because also the other part of it is, if you don't know who you are, there's somebody who probably knows that, and they will use that against you. That's right. Like, that is a weapon. Like, whatever you are ignorant to, you feel me? Whatever you are ignorant to about yourself, like, you don't see yourself. You know, I don't see what I look like right now, but you can tell if there's a twitch in my eye or something, if I'm uncomfortable, you can see probably more about me sometimes than I can. And I feel like somebody look at you long enough, they'll learn. And if you're around the wrong people, that becomes their weapon. Absolutely. You know, and so I feel, I don't know, I would like to protect. I mean, like I said, I don't have no regrets, you know, but if I could go back in time, I would have protected myself a lot more. But then again, I wouldn't be who I am right now.
I was going to say, everything happens for a reason.
We wouldn't have this conversation. I probably wouldn't be as empathetic. I probably wouldn't be as vocal as I am. Like, even as I talk about the things that I feel need to change in country music, like, I'm not talking about it from like a place of like, you know, like, y'all doing this, y'all, like, it ain't like that. I'm actually saying, like, this is an invitation. Hey, there is a much bigger story happening here, and history will be told. You know, which side of it are you going to fall on? Because we're going to talk about, like, this is a movement that we're seeing, like, sonically, like, even musically, racially, musically, this is a movement. Like, we're watching a shift. Like, you know, when we talk about it in 10 years, were you forward thinking, or were you trying to gatekeep, you know, a future that could actually be really dope, you know?
Yeah.
Makes the whole genre bigger.
Yeah, it makes the whole genre bigger, and that's a really hard thing. I mean, you from the South, you know, like, the idea of something becoming bigger and having more people, like, that can be really scary, you know, if you're from a small town, or if you're, like, because Nashville feels like a big small town. It can feel really scary, you know, like, you know, getting a bigger infrastructure. That can feel really scary, feeling like you're losing your bearings, or, you know, but it's actually just an invitation to explore something else, you know, and to let something else in. There could be something really sweet happening right now. And I feel like we watch it so often in a lot of genres where there's shifts, you know, musical shifts, where something happens and a whole new genre is made. Honestly, for me, the biggest like cultural difference for me, even in country music, is Black music is by nature very innovative.
Yeah.
Like, we abandon genres and create a whole new, and we've done that, like, consistently. And so that's a cultural thing for me, like, if I'm honest. But I feel like the industry is going to continue to shift, and I hope that people feel this invitation from me and anybody else speaking out about this, to just be like, hey, something new is gonna happen. Let these pop artists come and do their thing.
Right.
You know, I want to hear what they got to say. I want to hear their country album. Why not? Because I want to hear your gospel album, and I want to hear the song that you do with that pop artist that you're featured on. And when you go to that pop festival, like, I want to hear it. And so, and I think a lot of people do, and I think the fans want to hear that as well. And so, why not give it to them? Give them a show. We're on the stage.
This is my last question. Speaking of when you were talking about sweet things happening, you going on tour with Willie and Bob. Willie Nelson and Bob Dylan, girl.
I've been on the road with Willie for 3 years, and it never ceases to amaze me that, like, I get to do this. Like, the amount of people, like, I'm excited to be on the road with Willie. I've never toured with Bob before, Bob Dylan. And I think, I don't know, like.
You ain't never smoked with Willie, though.
Nah, but I have had some of his weed. He got this company called Willie's Reserves.
Yeah.
And they just be pulling up on you in your dressing room. They just, like, knock on the door, you know, and they just be like, I got you something. They got the canister. The canister is fire. I keep the canister.
Yeah.
I've ran out of that weed, but
Pre-rolls?
Yeah, pre-rolls, yeah.
She said I ran out the same day.
Hybrid, you know, so you ain't, like, falling asleep, you know. And so I love Willie. I did meet him. I sang with him. Like, he always invites, like, everybody that's been on the stage before him to come and sing with him at the end of the night. And he just, like, he's the sweetest. Like, he blew me a kiss one time in the middle of the song. He was like, mwah. And I was like, Willie, I love you so much. And so it's an honor, like, especially when an artist is 90 years old.
Yeah.
Like, to be able to do this in their lifetime, like, that's how I feel. Like, and I mean, I've gotten to do this a few times, like 3 years with Willie. I've toured with, she's not at his age yet, but Reba, I've toured with her.
Oh my God.
I opened up for Bruce Springsteen last year. I'm excited about Bob Dylan this year. Gosh, like, I don't know. I get excited. But I also get excited about the younger ones too.
Yeah.
Opened up for Megan Thee Stallion. That was fun.
First of all, yes, for real.
That was fire.
That's what's
in
up.
Baltimore.
In
That was
Baltimore.
fire. Yeah, I did. That was fun. I love touring. I really do. I love touring, and
you love it now.
Yeah. I loved it before too. That was the hard part. I was like, yo, why am I zapping out?
No more vomit, none of that.
No.
Because Bob and Willie don't want to, we not, they doing it, all right?
I go up to sing on the last song, and I'm just, just projectiles.
Oh my God. And then he done blew a kiss, and you talking about, ugh. Like, don't do that.
I can't do that, though. You know, Sarah Jake Roberts, she said that whenever you are doing something new, you're going to have some form of anxiety.
Yeah.
Because you've never been in that space before.
Yes.
So it's just like you kind of got to just embrace it. You know, of course, we all got our techniques, the breathing exercises,
Feelings,
some meditation,
man.
things like that. But you're going to feel something.
Yeah, you are. Ugh, feelings. They're so hard. New things are hard.
That's right.
But I love touring. I'm having a great time. And like I said, I'm the opening act right now. And I'm having a great time because people have been very kind and embracing me. And it's cool to, like, even just watch the stages that have let me on, like, just as a country artist, being able to say, like, in the same year you opened up for Reba and Megan Thee Stallion and Maren Morris and Sheryl Crow, like, that's an eclectic like lineup of of people. Like, but I like being the kind of artist that has songs for all those stages, and I'm gonna keep doing it.
I'm so proud of you, y'all.
Brittney,
Thank
we
you.
appreciate you for joining us. Ladies and gentlemen, My Stupid Life is out right now. Pick it up. Brittney Spencer.
Listen to Blackbird on Beyonce's Cowboy Carter.
That's right. And it's The Breakfast Club. Good morning. Thank you.
Wake that ass up.
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.